Good evening and welcome to Wednesday Wellness. I'm Eileen Whipple and I am excited to be here tonight. I am a mother, entrepreneur. I'm a person who has just had a lot of experience because I was in the depths of health hell is what I'm going to call it. And I had to find a way out. And the way I found out is what I want to share with you tonight because I got to the point where I had made changes in my diet and my environment. And I didn't really think that my body could heal and repair. But what I didn't know was that cumulative effect of what I was doing to improve my environment really was making a difference. And that's what I want to share with you tonight are things that I learned along my way. So tonight we're going to talk about frequencies and what they are doing to our bodies and why they are important. Wednesday Wellness is a group that we have put together to help you be well, get well, and stay well, and to share information. We are here every single Wednesday night. We invite you to come back. We are also part of a Facebook group called the Biohacked Body, and we invite you to come into that group. Healing frequencies, why they are important. Many of us are familiar with feelings that we get from things that are going on around us, from the light and the sounds. And that's what we want to talk about tonight. Why is this important? Because everything is in constant movement and everything has a frequency to be optimal. So just like your body has frequencies to be optimal for every organ of your body. And if it's optimal, you're going to have optimal health. We also know that our energy centers, which are called chakras, have those same elements of frequencies that help them resonate and to be at optimal function for your health. What we do also know is that optimal health resonates at 435 hertz. So what keeps us from being at that? So what disrupts our frequencies? Like I said, light, sound, foods, emotions, EMFs. Disruption long-term results in dis-ease. Yes, that's true. The disease, that is what will happen when those bodies get out of their balance because they've been disrupted so much. So what can we do to protect ourselves and what can we do to keep our frequencies where they need to be? So let's first talk about what a frequency is. So let me stop share for just a minute because I want to show you this because we're all familiar with blue lights and how we make bug zappers out of them. Well, why do they work? It's because of the frequency that is in tune with the bugs, right? This is one that I use. This helps my house keep toxin free, but you can kind of see the bugs that it attracts. It's kind of cool. And so the manufacturer, interestingly enough, recommends that you change that bulb every 6 months because the longer the bulb is being used, the lower the frequency is, and you won't be able to attract the quantity of bugs that you will want to attract with the new bulb. So let's go back to the PowerPoint. So here's the basic principle of what the frequency is. A frequency is the number of occurrences of an event in a space and time. So this obviously is a longer occurrence, and this one is a shorter one. And that is called a repeated pattern, which are the waves and the cycles that happen that we call the electromagnetic spectrum. So what we want to look at is why is this important? Because we are being bombarded all the time with waves. But look at the human body. So a baby down here at conception to age 2 is in a deep sleep. The waves are far apart and they are called delta waves. The next waves are called theta waves. They are from a 2 to a 6-year-old. And then a 6 to a 12-year-old, they get shorter and shorter. And the adult, they are closer together. So I'm going to show you in this PowerPoint what that actually means. But the basic thing is from the 6-year-old down, they are basically an open vessel to all of these bombardments of these waves and everything that you're teaching these children. This is from the work of Bruce Lipton, if you want to look it up. And that's why I want to share this with you because it's not only crucial for us as adults, but it's also crucial for our children. So how do you know that you're being affected by all these waves, which we call EMFs? Do you have flu-like symptoms, headaches, dizziness, fatigue, muscle, joint pain? And I know this can go across the board with so many disease processes, but what if part of that disease process is attributed to the EMFs that we're experiencing? Some of the things I have experienced in my time is jittery, short-tempered. I easily catch the viruses and the bacteria that are going around me. And that's all because I have high oxidative stress, due to, part of it is due to the EMFs or the electromagnetic waves. So let's look at these wavelengths. So we know that we have long and short ones, right? Well, here's the spectrum. We have radioactivity over here. We have light, microwaves. Now, these waves we don't see. We only see this light section. That is a very short part of the spectrum, but yet all these other waves are going through us. And what are these other waves? We have microwaves, Wi-Fi, radio, electricity, X-rays. All of these are still penetrating and going through us, affecting those cellular structures, affecting our organs, affecting those glands, and bringing on challenges for our bodies, because we already know that they're affecting us. Isn't that a funny little cartoon that I found? This is part of the proof of what the EMFs can do to us. This is a person before cell phone use. After just 15 minutes, you notice the intense red on their face. That's inflammation and heat, which does not lead to good things. And going back to the children, this is very interesting. The cell phone effects on a 5-year-old, a 10-year-old, and an adult. You can see that it's much more dramatic on those children. And so it's not only the cell phones, you guys, it's the switches they're playing on, it's the computers, it's the cell phones, it's the iPads, it's all of this together. So what we want to do is know about them and then know what we can do to protect ourselves. I'm going to stop share here for another minute and show you some things that I do in my own personal home. So some of us are familiar with some of these. This is the quartz crystal lamp. This is very popular nowadays as a decorative piece, but it also thwarts EMFs. One thing that I do not have are succulent plants. Those also absorb EMFs. This is a machine that I bought from my chiropractor years ago. It is an EMF protector, and it protects up to 2,200 square feet. Now, personally, and I use a magnet. Now, this is a special magnet. It's not one that you just buy for your refrigerator. It's one I got from my chiropractor, but I wear that on my body. I wear it when I go out because the fluorescent lights, my electric car, I have a Prius, my electric car affects me. And so all these things are around us all the time. And so I do that to protect myself. Now, with my telephone, I do a thing called a diode. And this one is specifically for 5G. So I'm putting that on my cell phone also to give me that extra protection from the EMFs around me. And we also have this, which that's where I got that photo from. So this is from that same company that makes the diode. And these are strips that you put onto your iPads, your other little devices that you don't need the protection range that the cell phone would, but still that's to protect you on your electronics. There's a couple more things I do. I have a diode that I put on my power strips, and we also have some rocks. And here's another thing that you can do, especially for your children, to wear these in their pants at school. Black tourmaline rocks, and those help thwart the EMFs. Okay, back to the PowerPoint. So that's what we can, those are some things we can do to protect ourselves. So what are things we can do to raise our vibration to bring us back, because those EMFs actually lower that vibration level. So we have emotions, light, sound, foods, oils, and that EMF protection. Let's look at some of these more carefully. So music, we know the influence of music. If you walk into certain grocery stores or certain clothing stores, they have different music depending on the crowd that they are playing to keep them in the stores. They use this all the time. And we know that for me, I grew up in the 80s. So when I hear a song from the 80s, some of them, right, when I wasn't breaking up with my boyfriend, you're vibrant and you're happy. I know my mom loved classical music. That lifted her heart. And those are things that music does all the time. And each note has its own frequency. So singing and chanting is huge. I also want to mention here about music and sound. So I'm going to unshare for just a minute because I want to share with you a couple of things that I have in my home. So some of you may be familiar with the chakra bowls. You can look on YouTube and hear these sounds all the time, but this is what it sounds like. And then they go around it. And this one is specifically for the root chakra, your base chakra. As energy is stable, being the foundation of your body, it can help everything else work more properly. So you don't build a house from the top down. We build it from the bottom up, just like we do our chakras. So like I said, you can check these out on YouTube. They have lots of ones that you can listen to, meditation ones and everything. Here's another device that I bought. Tuning forks are huge of what you can use there. I hope that arrow wasn't in my forehead that whole time. But, so here's some sounds. They vibrate. And I don't know if you know this, but teenagers can hear higher pitches than what we can hear. And so they can be on their cell phones getting dinged and not getting caught in school because the teacher can't hear it. Because as we get older, our range of sound decreases also. So isn't that interesting? But these are things that you can do to balance your atmosphere around you, balance your chakras and things like that. And music is a very powerful tool. And back to our PowerPoint. I want to bring out the point of a couple of things. Your brain remembers more things through song lyrics than it does any other way. Isn't that interesting? Matching it to a musical note. Pachelbel Canon in D, I don't know if you've noticed, but I've had it playing since the beginning of this Zoom call because I learned over 20 years ago that just playing that music helps reduce pain levels because it rebalances the body. Also, I want you to look at this one of the meditation music. It is programmed at that 432 hertz, which is that optimal level for your body. Chakras and color and emotions. This is huge. So let's first look at the emotions. So certain emotions raise you. If you think of your happy place or a really happy time in your life, you know how that raises your vibration. And if you think of that anger and that person who ticked you off today, that lowers your vibration. That is extended over a long period of time will make a difference. You should express every emotion. We can go into that another time, from anger to sadness and depression, all the way to joy and exuberance. But what we want to do is be able to call on those emotions when we need to change some frequencies that we want to deal with to bring ourselves back into harmony. Here is another chart where we can look at certain emotions with their frequencies. Dr. Lipton, again, he says, if you are in love, not just feeling love, but you're in love, that will raise your vibration enough for you to thwart most anything that is going on in your environment around you, which is pretty amazing. Color, we all know about color. Certain colors raise our vibrations. I'm personally wearing yellow today. It is something that just makes me smile, right? I wear red on a day where I want to be powerful. I wear blue on a day where I really want to be trusted, and I just am on that calm plane. Purple is huge for thinking more spiritually and being more mystic and more imaginative and more creative. All of these colors, and McDonald's uses orange. Why? Because it ignites the food, the hunger symbol inside your body. Yeah. So look at the food, look at the colors that fast food restaurants or restaurants use, because they know color influences your decisions. So we also want to be good with our diets. The rule of thumb is 5 colors on your plate for a balanced diet. And we won't even go into more of that. We have other things that we can do on that one. So the second to last thing that I'm going to share with you right this moment is that we want to put our phones in airplane mode at night. We want to disconnect from the internet and things around us. We want to be spending more time outside. We want to make sure we're taking antioxidants in and we're making our body make antioxidants. We want to use devices instead of using that Bluetooth. And I know so many of our devices are going to Bluetooth, and technology is awesome, but it's also harmful. So it needs to be used in regulation and mediation. It does not, doing it 24/7 is not healthy for your body. So using headphones and things with cords rather than the Bluetooth is super important. Like I said, these are some of the objects that I have in my home. And I also use NRF2 products inside my body to help protect my cells from the inside out. So frequencies, we want to look into light, sound, emotions, and that will create the cellular and organ health that we are desiring to be well, to get well, and to stay well. I know that all of these are pieces that apart put together are pieces of the puzzle. The thing that I love about frequencies and about Nerve2 products and other things like that, they are universal principles, building blocks, the food, the nutrients you're putting into your body, they're all building blocks into where you need to be for your optimal health. And like I told you, some of you have heard my story, but I didn't think health was possible for me. I thought I had started too late. I thought that I hadn't made enough changes. But I'm telling you, these small cumulative effects over time make the difference. And one day you just like, oh my gosh, I'm having better hours. I'm having better days. I'm having better weeks. I remember with my daughter that I remember if we said, if we have one good day a month, we were like, what? And then we went to 2 days a month. And then we went to 3 days a month. Then we went to 1 a week. We went to 2 a week. And now it's inverse. We may have 1 bad day a month, if even that at this point. But the point I want to share with you is that things can change. Things can get better. You can heal and repair. God made our bodies. I was listening to someone the other day and she said, oh, it was Mel Robbins. And she says, we're constantly growing. Our hair is, our nails are. How many men have to shave every day, right? Our bodies are constantly growing. What are we giving it? What are we doing for it to help it give us healthy things rather than negative turnouts, right? And that's why we do this Wednesday Wellness, to share with you principles that are across the board with digestion, with emotions, with everything. And so please invite your friends back. We're here every Wednesday night. And we always do a question and answer period after the call. And we would love to have you on and ask your questions and tell us it's subjects that you're interested in. I'll find the people so that we get your questions answered. So thank you for joining us, and be well, get well, and stay well. Thanks for watching. And remember, one change can have an enormous effect. Remember to subscribe, hit the bell and the like, and we'll see you next time on Love to Live.